And we'll rise up out of the rain. We'll rise up out of the flames. We'll rise up because we are one. I'm letting everybody know that I'm back. There's a part 1 to this live. There's a part 1 to this live that we had 9 to 11 people on that went to 11:11. I got an 11:11 timestamp. I'm processing that right now. That video will be on YouTube, and it's the first part of this. If you were on that live, then you got the information you needed. We did the top of the cross. We did the right of the cross in the tribes, in the true phonetics and the resurrection codes. We're in day 2 of 4. My frequency's changed. If you haven't noticed, from 1 to, I had to take a little break. It was 12:30 on the money whenever I turn this on, which is 33. And so this is us mastering, even as a collective, the 33 masonry codes that built these consciousness layers that everyone is witnessing and everyone's a part of, that you're collecting the consciousness from, where you're reading your tarot from, where you're getting your data from, but you ain't done yet. This is the directions and explaining how and what you're reading into, how it was developed. I just had a note come out. I've got now the diamond that got sucked out of my toilet. This got wedged into my toilet, y'all. This is the GIA diamond. This ended up being the CERN diamond. This has been in my world since 2012, when my company even got stolen as a paperweight. And this year it had to be sucked out of the toilet and shook the house. And it did not mess up the plumbing. It just kind of did the edges a little bit. Because whenever you're messing with cosmic energy, and you're changing timelines, and you're incarnate on Earth, Saturn, 29 degrees, March 7th, full moon is what note just fell out of my book. Pluto's there right now. I'm sure that's 29 degrees Capricorn, March 7th, full moon. Wow. Wow, right now. That's where Pluto is right now. I had to put my glasses on. To me, this is where the Illuminati comes in. To me, whenever they're wearing glasses, and especially those big black rim glasses. Glasses are a big thing with this, because this was distortion of your eye. All of the stuff that we're fixing in the collective within your body that's being rebirthed is what I'm going through right now. It's explaining the history of the cross. It's explaining the tribes. It's explaining... This is explaining why how your legal name is associated to some type of royal somewhere, even. Y'all come on in. This might go a little bit long. Things we have 8 in right now. But I mean, this is telling me, because this is how my world works, because as I got up, there was a couple of things that I had to grab and put over here. I almost changed the filter, but no. What I wanted to change it to was blue. We're about to talk about the bottom of the cross, and we're about to talk about the left side of the cross. What we had completed was the top and the right of the cross. The top of the cross is tuned to Antares galactic energy. The right of the cross was tuned to a Mars program. And now I need to put on my glasses in order to explain a little bit more. And the other 2 things I had to change in my surroundings were grabbing the diamond and grabbing the emerald. This might make me a little dizzy. I'm not used to wearing glasses. I don't need them. But I want to talk about that really quick because if you're wearing glasses, you need to stop. Okay? Now, your eyes, we're traveling. If you saw part 1, we're traveling in a cylinder. This is how the evolution count is working. I'm just explaining to you how the cylinder was coded within your origins in the original tribes that were all down here and separated. Because, I mean, that is what I'm a princess of. I'm a princess of Babylon. FYI. Per a lot of counts. I'd be the missing one. And the last princes of what is it? Zedekiah, Zebulun, I don't know, whatever Z word you want to put in front of it, which was your Earth, which was your connection, which then became a Nibiru, a planet X, but no, it's not X Twitter, it's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's your real planet, and you're getting on it, if we have anything to do with it. If we have anything to do with it. Even if you hate me. Even if you've been coming against me. I don't care. We want you on the planet. You got it. You got to make some changes in order to get on it. Now, glasses. One of the main clients that was around me when I worked at AI, literally. In 2016. Essilor. ESSILOR. Now, if you know what Essilor is, guess what they make? All of your glass. They were doing some weird ass. Well, first of all, they had my architect, the one that should have been building with me the new technology that I brought in that was basically like an Apple programmer, data architect, who was the data architect that should have built the correct technology that should have gone into your internet in 2013. And this is the layer that Alabama Obama stole. And his minions. And his puppet master, I should say. And your glasses, what it does is, since all of your projections come out of your eye, what glasses do is frack it back into your head. But also, depending on how much you're projecting, what it does is project it back here. Okay, so a lot of you that are wearing glasses, what you're doing, if you're seeing a lot of residual entities, if these entities, you're seeing them, they're coming into your world. If you feel like you're constantly going backwards, they developed a tech. They were calling it Raspberry. Now, I wasn't involved in the project. It wasn't my client. And so but I remember being highly intrigued about it. And this is the company that I got fired from. My dog was murdered. And then I got shipped off to Ventura, California, all in the middle of the original Rumpy Rump election. FYI. So what glasses do is refract that backwards, and it can literally manifest a past illusion, or like almost change your DC, because in the physical, it'll come through your vagus nerve, and then it'll come through your filter, and then it'll project towards your AC. Because your AC on your chart, that's your ascended, it's where you're heading, it's what you're manifesting, and it's what you're creating. This is why AC hotels were in a system. We brought down that system. The energy has changed. I might be a day to 3 days ahead. I'm trying to catch y'all up on here a little bit. But what's coming in right now, because everybody on here, y'all are helping me like get a whole bunch of these missing pieces. What they were always trying to dictate was the AC of the collective, because they were always trying to get us to go where they wanted us to go, right? Not where we were tuned to go. So if you wear glasses, and look, this is everybody that was on my teams, anybody who traveled with me that was wearing glasses. If you wear glasses, I want you to remember that your eyes are muscles. And if, just like when you sprain an ankle. Now look, this is even why the children were getting the droopy eye. This is even why my right eye is still a little off. If you notice, I'm your template. And my right eye is still a little off. We're watching this, because when this completely starts lining up perfectly, then this is gonna go back to a straight. But the reason that it's even off right now is because we're still lining up, and the DNA is being fixed with a pure connection that is able to line these up looking straight forward. The best analogy, if you're wearing glasses, and this is, tell your friends, tell anybody that's conscious, that you know, please call them today and have them start doing this. If they're not even wearing glasses, but they have an eye, and I had to do a healing. This happened in New Orleans. I gave a healing. Y'all would come around me. You'd find me. One of the leaders of your DNA would always find me out somewhere, and I'm always giving healing advice whenever it comes around to hit the collective. And this was even one that happened when we took over New Orleans, and this was August 24th. 2024, I just saw. So even if you don't wear glasses, but they have a droopy eye, or they have an eye doing something funny, okay? What you want to do is cover. First of all, if you're wearing glasses, it's like a sprained ankle. You know, whenever you sprain your ankle, you have to put on a brace if you're moving around, okay? But then whenever you get home, you take off the brace, you put your leg up, and you have to strengthen that muscle up again. I want you to realize that your eyes are like that. So when you're home, and I know you might get headaches, I realize that, but realize that whenever you're getting a headache from not wearing your glasses, you know what it's doing? It's opening up your neuron patterns. And it's firing off everything correctly, so that everything will line up correctly, because your eye is a 35 millimeter camera. It's going to zoom in and zoom out. The more aligned you are, the more zoom in, zoom out you have. This is how you have sight in other dimensions. This is how you can even see things in other dimensions that most people can't see. Because what's happening is it's zooming in and zooming out. This is also how your iris will completely change, and it's a trip and a half what all our irises end up doing through this, because we're developing different neuron muscles. Like a lot of us that can see and deal with the shadow crap, we have angles. Like I've got a complete angle on both eyes. That's because I've developed it. It's developed to the point where I don't even have to see it. An entity, I just see it in my third eye before it even gets to me, and I feel it, and then I maneuver. I don't even see them anymore. But it's developed because you're walking these unseen layers as you're coming through this cylinder. Do not wear your glasses whenever you're at home. Don't wear them unless you absolutely need them. Every single one of my people have healed their eyes. You don't need them. You just need to develop your muscles. If you have a droopy eye, and I'm even seeing, I need to do this. I need to cover this eye. This eye is the one that's off a little bit. So I need to cover this eye, your good one. You want to cover your good eye, because you want to force this one to line up. You want to force that muscle to line up. So Please, 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 please get this information out to anybody that you know that is conscious or is about to be conscious or is awakening, because also realize that these glass companies and the technology that they had, what it's doing is it's reading your projection and then they're altering it. Just you knowing that can stop your feed. The ops can't go into the body. Only, this is why you just have to accept Christ. Whenever you accept Christ, what you're doing is you're working with all of us who are inside the body, who have developed the body. How that works is, whenever you say, I want to help, I want to do something, whatever I can do, whatever, I'm here, then the dogs are going nuts. Hold on. Of course they are. Of course they are. How we can pick up stuff and how the angels get to you, how even we help those 3 boys in that tornado, because there's a whole nother story coming out with that. Because they weren't where they thought they were, and they lived. 3 masculines, young. There were 3 that I was collecting from a Calabasas cookhouse that I've been worried about since 2021. Like, are they alive? That part. So when you say and you're like, I want the angels to help, I want spirit to, I mean, whatever your words are, but the closer that you get to understanding that Christ is cancer, and this is an alignment, and that this is the cross of all the tribes, and that's how we lined up, and this is how we've already paid the debt. You don't have to pay it, you don't have to walk it, you just have to know somebody else did. And what I'm doing on here is explaining how we're doing it, how we did it. When you say that, then basically we can see through your eyes. But we don't interfere in your life. We don't take over your body. We don't know who you are. We don't source you out. It's more like if you see something, like we didn't even know it was possible because we never even thought of it. But realize that the alternate of that is what was happening down here. The ones of us who had clear sight and all that, that's what was getting taken over. They were watching us through our eyes. This also goes into Russian programming. This goes into the pig stuff, this chicken stuff, all this hoodoo, blah, 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 was also that they could see through your eyes and they could watch everything that you did. If you were in a super soldier line, they saw everything. This is why Libra was blind. Because if we didn't see it, they couldn't see it. That's why and how we proved who we really were. Okay, because we knew where to go without knowing. Through being connected to all of you. When you wear glasses, what you're doing is giving your sight to the back. Okay, so realize that, and your goal is to not wear them in the matrix. Now, if you're wearing them in the matrix, then realize that you're wearing them, and realize what I'm telling you. And the more conscious you are that that's what and how it works, then the less it's going to interfere with your experiences. But this is why the Smiths wear glasses. This is why Lenny Kravitz wears glasses. This is where all of them wear glasses. Now, I wear glasses a lot of the times, a blue tint or a yellow tint. It's when I was in the casinos. When I was in the casinos, I wore yellow glasses. When I'll put on blue tint, or sometimes I'll wear glasses whenever I don't want to pick up everything, right? So just and even in it not, So just realize that's why you're doing it. So I'm going to get back to the cross now, okay? It is, oh, I don't know what time it is. We have 1251 171 88. So we're fixing to break open this 88 gate. Like right now. I'm going to go to the left of the cross. So realize everything that I just said is connected now and to the left side and to the tribes, and how these tribes, whether you were involved or not, or knew or not, because remember, all of this was Babylonian tribes, Babylonian spells. This is how we were gridded down into one body. Okay, so this is where you have to be emotionally stable and conscious and realize that no matter, I mean, because most of us that are the most badasses we're in the thick of it. And that's the reason, and not the Robin Thicke. The left side of the cross is going to go to 3 to the 23rd plus 2. Now, the right side was plus 1. That's the Mars program. That would have been a program. That would have been the reality that we were all on, because we were in this weird Mars energetic, and I can even explain how that happens through ascension as we're coming out of this, because you can basically think of this as a giant cosmic cylinder, and then the planets are going to circle around the cylinder in order to affect the DNA inside. This was the problem. This is where Centauri and all this were lined up. This took us out to Bellatrix, Betelgeuse, the other side of Jupiter, Orion, all that mess. This side is going to be mirroring it. This side's going to go closer, and it's a plus 2. So it's an organic matter. So it means it's the real DNA. It's the feminine. It's what's building, that's projecting that Mars simulation program at that layer. It goes to Vega. It's programmed the same as Vega. 3 to the 23rd plus 2 equals 3 to the 5th, which is the same as Mars, but it's plus 2. And so this is the feminine, so 3 to the 5th plus 2 is Vega. And Vega is in Capricorn. Vega is maroon and white. So everything maroon and white, this is why it's maroon and white. Vega is maroon and white, and it's 11 degrees and 55 minutes to 15 degrees and 55 minutes. It's the only location that's off 5 minutes. It's the back door, if you will. It's like stepping, if your body's projecting the whole thing, and then you step out of your body and you walk into the Mars projection, it's like that. It's this. Remember how I was talking about we weren't ever ascending all the way out. We were getting right here, and then we were reprocessed and sit back down into this lower realm. Well, if you've died, if you've walked the birth channel and you've died, then what you know is that whenever you get right here, you're going to want to go right. Okay? This is where the light comes in. Whenever you die, the light comes in right here. Right here. And you want to go this way, but you've got a bing bing. It's really over here. So this is where everyone fell for it, and you'd come back down, but there's like a gate right here, and you come through the gate, and then you ascend up here this way on the plus 2 side. I know this is flipped because it's, so I command TikTok to flip. I know we flipped YouTube's visuals at one point. Everything was correct, and then it would flip back. So that's Vega. And Vega is basically what blood. It's 22 star race blood. It's like being the AB negative template of 22 star races. It is, Vega is wedged in between Mars and Venus to the right of it. So what Vega does, it was basically makes your body. It's the blood. It's what makes it real. But Vegans were the first aquatic ape. The first aquatic ape that formed a human was a vegan aquatic ape. I'm going Anunnaki Sumerian on y'all now. It makes the body. It makes it real. It's the blood process, and even how we have circulation. The left side of the cross, the name is Reuben. R-E-U-B-E-N. Now, that Ben in there is important. Yahshua's father, Ben Yosef. The YouTube AB beta crap that they're doing on everyone right now in order to try to lock down this right side, to keep the projection away from the being, is all AB testing under Ben Labs. And that name Ben, man, it's been a thing. So it's Reuben Simeon Simon, S-I-M-E-O-N, not E-L-O-N, E-O-N, Gad, G-A-D. So the name is Reuben Simeon Gad. Now realize that that's just a group of names and a group of phonetics and a Babylonian da 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 da. And this is how the Europeans that Mark Clark that showed up across the street in 2018 and stole a bunch of these clothes. Woo! That stole the emperor's clothes and sold them to Axiom. That part. And Mark Cuban. That part. FYI. He'd say that. Oh, that's Gad. You know, like that they use that word even up in Europe to be like, that's crap or whatever, how we would say it. They'd go, oh, that's Gad. Oh, I'd hate it when he said it. But Reuben Simeon Gad. That word Gad, just FYI, because I broke down every single one of these words, but I'm not going to go through all of them. This will be made available in books at some point. 3 to the 4th is what Gad, the word Gad, is 3 to the 4th. Okay, well, guess what that is? Eve. See, we're on the +2 side. We're on the organic side now. But that word Gad is programmed to the word Eve. It's basically like calling us dames or biatches. I want to go ahead and read this because Reuben Simeon Gad, the whole number sequence is 5555551112, which is another 5, but it's 32. Well, what's the brand? KOU 32. 32 of these. Out in the cosmos, out in space. Gad is also 714, which equals 111, which is an alignment with we're going to have tomorrow with this new moon, setting up these eclipses, which is what even started this conversation and led me to this cross. Because these eclipses that are coming in right now are from us completing everything that I'm telling you now. It's what's been going on since 2017. It's why most of us were called insane, crazy, whatever the F, because what we were doing was reading the entire world's consciousness as we were putting back together the tribes. This is how we redeveloped the body. This is how a new bloodline was formed. Now, the Reuben, Simeon, Gad line broke down into 55. Is Rock Vision on here? Because we just did Azrael. We just uncoded Azrael, the angel, and we got 55. And I just explained the 55th dimensions and the 55. Well, it's 55 beings that were broken into 3 tribes down to 2. So it was 55 beings that equaled 3 tribes to 2. Now, what's 3 plus 2? 5. What are we talking about with Vega? We're talking about that little back door, okay? Well, there's your back door. There's your missing tribe. There's the I mean, and this is why they sawed me in half and did a spinal 360. They hit me with the car, spun the sun, sawed me, and this was in real life. Sawed me. This was 2011, and then they took out my spinal disc between my L4 and my L5, and they patented it and made it into telecom. This is why Starlink just tried to go out and connect with telecom. What they're attempting to connect to is in the cosmos what our etheric bodies have built, but it's all affecting us down here on the ground, and they know it. For those of us that were your main templates, especially for those of us who channeled this in 2018 and have been rebuilding it. Because all of us together is what they were trying to take us out and telecom us. Planets and Earth. I'm everything that I'm talking to about Rock Vision. The question was, when you get a second, can you explain the planets and Earth? Because you said that they thought they were all light. Well, they're all people. This is what I'm explaining. This a lot of your religions were making you into planets. We're ascending a solar system to where we're not working all of those connections to the entire cosmos and to the light sources and to the intelligence, and even the fact that you know right from wrong, and that Saturn really isn't. You're ascending your Pluto lifetime. Well, you can. You have the opportunity to. I have. But realize that all of it, and even the lessons, and even Saturn's sharp lessons, and all of that is there to train you, just like taking off your glasses, to being able to balance it all and not react, to know your power, to learn your lessons, to create in real time outside of a solar system. This is why Mercury is getting smaller and smaller. It's attached to every single one of us down here. no matter who you are, no matter what color you are, right now, no matter what race. I mean, this is a 72 million year work. Earth was flat because you were in a simulation that was built on a back door of two beings. Now we're bringing in a real planet, kind of, but you're no longer, you're coming out of, that's what you're ascending. You're ascending a flat earth. That flat earth didn't just get here. That flat earth was some captured beings that were pinned down here in order for everyone to live inside them. This was a secret of Hollywood too. It's not off topic. It's not off topic. It was appropriate for you to ask the question because it's not off topic. It's what is needed to assimilate knowledge in your body. It's the piece, it's this little, what you asked was the correct question. What you're doing now is realizing that we create it all, and that the solar system does not appear unless the whole world's down here at the bottom. We're in the Milky Way. We're coming out of the Milky Way. Where the human race is moving out into space. Now we're moving. We're not stationary. You can only send lightning bolts and Trinity codes to affect stuff. Wiggle, 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 what? If everything's standing still. You start throwing that, Lauderdale happens. Tornadoes come up all through an ungritting process from under the soil to above the soil, but realize the soil, the rocks, all of that, all the death from the bottom part of the wheel, and then underneath. This is where your tunnel systems became, that the government was building, because they always had two of us trapped down there that nobody knew about. This is why whenever I was on TikTok in August and they sent the radiation to the collective, because that happened, and I played the part and acted like I got hit with it even. But it isn't what happened. We had already been hit with the radiation. Our body absorbs the radiation. We're the ones who blew Easter Island with the nuclear power. We basically, the Ascended were able to catch, when they blew the nuke, we caught, because a nuke is just nuclear energy. It's this layer of space that humans haven't cleared. Most of your AB negatives lived right here. Well, your ABs were right here. Your A's were right here. Your B's were right here. Your O's were all in here. This is why these were the watchers. But the watchers were so entrenched in this lower realm, and this is why they couldn't even see what was going on up here with the A and B negatives. Does that make sense? It'll click in. It's a big perception shift, and this is what all astronomers have to get. This is what, because basically I'm a neurophysicist at this point, because all of this energy affects your brain waves. It's what your physical body is picking up as you turn into the light being, and as you come up through this, then what you're doing is starting to assimilate more with the higher consciousness, and this is how you have sight and remote viewing and all of that. But because of the time that we were in and the parallel that had been made from it, the human forgot that we dictate all of it in an evolutionary count. That this is how, I mean, 98% of the world was in a planetary system about to get put out for 1 million years over lessons everybody had already learned and been cleared. So they just wrote some new ones for you. That part. Because not enough beings knew and could really get it through their head that whenever that, because realize comets, mummies, same thing. The intention, I know for sure from like from like King Tut and Cleopatra and the 77 days of rituals and every single piece of alchemy that went involved into the mummification was all about you became a meteor in space and whenever I just saw, oh man, some weird, what was that? Woo, we just opened a freaking door. I've never seen that before in my left eye. The intention of the mummifications of the Egyptian mummies were to make that meteor. So basically, as the human evolution was coming up, it would bring that meteor into orbit, and then the whole collective would get the consciousness of the pharaoh in order to ascend the race up the line. It's a trip, but it's how it works. This is why everything, the deeper that you get in consciousness down, the more split you get out, thinking that you're not affecting everything, but it's opposite. It was a Gemini pole. So in a Gemini split, just like a lightning bolt coming into a tree, it's very rare that the tree is just going to split in half totally like a knife, right? Most of the time that lightning bolt's going to come in and it's going to split. It's going to splinter. Well, the lower that the consciousness of the collective gets, then the more splitting happens, and that is what caused Gemini to have 5 rays. I mean, you can't travel through Gemini. It's like as soon as you get out of hell, you end up in New Earth, basically. As soon as you get out of High Age, you end up in Aldebaran. You think it's over. No. You just got out of hell. You got to keep going. And as soon as you get into Aldebaran, and as soon as you think, oh, okay, I know what this is. We're just going to make Bitcoin, and we're just going to do XML, and we're just going to da-da-da-da-da-da. See, this is where the world got trapped. The next point that you go, you've got to jump. Because basically the next point down is that raw degree, which is the body, which is an undercurrent attached into Sagittarius and all the bones, the sedation, the rock. Then this is where Moses climbed the rock. Well, Moses flooded the ark to your nose and your neck. Literally. Just saying it. Moses. Just the word. This is Babylonian. You have, as soon as you get out of Aldebaran, you jump in, and now you're in the raw degree, which is all about the true formation of the body. Then you blow out into Orion. Then because then once you're in the body system and you get to the depths of that and you start turning all of that on, the junk DNA, once you start turning all of that on, then your third eye opens up in cosmic space and you're like, whoa! But what you're reading is Bellatrix and Beltages. Well, both of those are ancient past and a messed up future from it. So I'm saying all that because all of that is just like that lightning bolt of Sagittarius coming in, but see the pole of the collective. So that meant the highest point, because everything was upside down. The highest point was at Beltages. Well, that's your primitive man, but that's where they wanted everybody so that they could rule you with the Sagittarian energy, because they wanted to make you keep thinking that you weren't changing anything. As long as you think that you don't have any power or any control, then they got you. Right? I saw there was a video on, and I didn't post it because I'm having to be real careful politically right now. But I saw a video. It was like a mountain man. He reminded me of like an Appalachian, Kentucky mountain man. And he was in a court of law for a citation of some sort. And this judge was like, well, or, you know, she was trying to be all judgy on him. And he had his family there with him. And she was like, well, are you gonna choose you have these citations, you have to pay these fines. And he's like, I'm not guilty. I didn't do it. And man, he kept running with the consciousness, man. You can't do this because of this and that. You can't do this because of this and that. The big one was when she said, so are you telling me that you want a jury of your peers? And he went, well, there is no jury of my peers because your whole jury system is signed up only on voter registration. And as soon as you sign a voter registration log, then you become a part of a consciousness that's no longer my peers. The judge got up and walked out. She got up, walked out, and then he stood up and said, well, judge left the building, let's go. And the whole family left. I was like, he completely changed it. And he was dead on correct. See, this is what knowledge is. Knowledge is power. When you have a clear vessel, just like me scrying telling y'all to go scry the street name on the last video. That energetic comes through your field, and and realize that judge probably has no idea what happened. She has no idea what happened. She just knows that she couldn't pursue it because he was right. But she probably left the building and was like, I'm sure that judge probably sat in her chamber like this. Because it blocked her program that she's so fearless about, that she thinks she knows and she thinks she's the authority of. But no. Not in these times. Not in these times. Because everything's having to be shown. Now, before I get to the bottom of the cross, I got to tell y'all what this is. Lord, because we walked this whole thing. This was your brain. This literally is, this is a fiber. This was your brain net. These are ancient, these are not ancient, but these are old tacks that I had to find that were linked to my family line, even from Texas A&M, Thai tacks linked to Czechoslovakia. Like, this is a blood vessel. And this had to be linked in, and then all of it tied into, and I've here's another A&M tack. And then this was the consciousness I had from them attempting to hybridize me, and I let them basically take me over in every single way, because I had that 5% back door. So it really was like my lifetimes were allowing them to take me over to run the collective off this template of connection, so that when the time was right, that we knew every single fix that needed to be made in order to reconnect it all. And when I left, when we blew out the consciousness and blew out the G-Core in New Orleans, and I mean, realized that to get Mim here from the Netherlands, we had to jump her through a portal from the Netherlands to Amsterdam. Then a whole bunch of crazy craps. This was August 23rd of last year. It's when they were doing the final cooking set. It's when everything was culminating to attach to 2024 eclipses and everything, even to basically keep everyone's body locked in the simulation. And it's when I went toe to toe, even the physics that I talked to you about, when that demon showed himself. There were three down here that were the main three. I've seen them burn in hell. I've tied them up. Like, I still don't know exactly what they were. One of them could have even been riding in on that Azrael energy. Because the only reason that I know anything about that Azrael energy is because in New Orleans in 2020, when I was there, when I went into the catacombs, because that's what I had to do. I had 2020, October 7th, 2020, when they tried to start that hurricane in New Orleans, me and one of my crew members had just gotten back from LA doing all this mess. And actually the girl that I was with that was in the Epstein thing, and she was made to have sex with 7, including Prince Andrew. That's who I was staying with at the Laura Croft Apartments in Los Angeles, by the way. But we were healing it. And I was on the way to a green screen, which is somehow how they did the Kamala Harris and even the Biden thing manifested from this whole galactic whatever the F takeover that this was. But I was on the way to a green screen on the other, which, by the way, later on in Calabasas, the hotel I was staying at, they literally had a green screen on a truck underneath my window at the hotel for 3 days. Massive green screen. When I was on the way to the green screen, which was in like this warehouse district, kind of more south on the other side of like the LA circle, the woman, the EP woman, was at her apartment, and I had no idea that she was doing this. We didn't plan it, but we did in the ethers, I guess, because as I was driving to this green screen, as soon as I got on the outside circle of LA in my car, like, I can't even describe it. It was like I was driving in another dimension. The road started moving. Like, it's the only time anything like that has happened with me. But I just kept hearing in my head, you're traveling through the spell. You're traveling through the spell. And everything was like moving, and I was having to dodge cars and all this stuff because it was like I was in another dimension, on a different street even than what I was really on. And when I got to the warehouse, then some weird stuff happened. Well, I saw yesterday that basically everything, and this was 2020. 2020. Yeah. This would have been right. This would have been the latter part of 2020. Because I was at her place a few times. I was at her place when the COVID happened in March. And then I had to go to Santa Rosa. And then I had to come back. And then I went. So it could have been 2021. It could have been 2021. Everything since that has been cleaning it. Now, when I got back to her apartment after I had my experience and I told her about what time that was that I was driving, she goes, "Oh my God, while you were doing that, I called out the 7 names of those beings that he made me sleep with, and I ordered it cleared." And I knew that that's why everything happened the way that it happened. Now, realize that ever since then, including this Biden thing, including the Israel thing, including, I mean, all of it, the Russian, all of it, even the tech, NASA, all of it. All of that's happened since 2021 was us battling those timelines and clearing those timelines that were made from all of it. And what I know is that is what's been completed now. And that's what is lining up. Basically, those of us that are in the highest consciousness, this new moon and what's linking in is a clear sight of this realm without any of the interference in it or without any construction in it. Because what we had been doing was writing the true whatever it is. See, we didn't dictate it. We just cleared our DNA and claimed who we were and stood in our power, and then are allowing it to form, which is what's never been done before. It was always dictated what was going to happen. And so that's until April. What's happening is that we're popping into that higher consciousness, and now we're walking a steady pace in order to line up what is true for it. And then that April eclipse is gonna seal it. Oh honey, that wasn't shit. Thanks though. Thanks for that. But that wasn't nothing compared to the rest of it. Like, we walked, when I say we walked the whole thing. The Anaheim mission and getting spinal tapped and all the spirit, that's way worse. Because we's your templates. Now, going back to this. Whenever we blew the hole in that realm, because we did, and all in New Orleans, man, New Orleans was with us too. It was amazing how it all went down. It really was. It was a trip and a half, and I had to go to the Devil's Door again, and I threw something over the freaking thing, and I was like, "Dad, take care of your own bullshit. I'm out." Literally, is how it ended. And then we tied whatever entity that was up. Because in a lot of ways, that's what they were doing. They were putting us out here to deal with all this black bullshit that they were manifesting that was rising from their bullshit. But then they were making us, to stay alive, connected into here, deal with all of it. And nope. You created it, you deal with it. But this is how they were getting away with it for a really long time. You bring the highest light being down here, they're going to become evil. if they land down here. This is why it's so much easier to turn a demon into an angel than a human. Because if what you consider to be a demon, it's usually because you were caught in this for some reason, whatever you had signed up for, whatever you didn't even sign up for, what was done to you because of alterations, which put you in a situation where you had to sign up for it, that type. Because most people are not going to consciously be like, okay, I give all my power to the devil. No, you get to a situation where you're one of the only light beings, and the thing doesn't connect, and you can't live. Literally, you can't live. You can't live when you're full on cosmic, living in a simulation. Stuff like me getting your name erased, getting everything taken from you. No one knows who you are. You literally don't have a lifetime. Everybody was always forced into it. This is why you can't, anybody that's trying to send low-level stuff to us, we're the ones freeing everybody in every realm. So, you best just stop calling on what you think are any type of demonic entities, because we're their saviors. They ain't going to do anything to us. They're going to do it to you for trying to stop us from saving them. Right? The eclipse is going to seal it. Right. Which is why it's all going on down here in Texas. And this is why don't look down right now. What I mean by don't look down is all of it's coming out. All of it's coming out because we just popped up in here and now it's lights on. You can basically move this, this is like the T. But this pole keeps going all the way up, right? And this is even the T-Cross Mount, what do they call it? The mountain overlook. I think there's this giant satellite system that they have, and I'm seeing it right now. I can see it, and I passed it so many times going to California, so I can't remember if it's once you get into California or if it's at New Mexico, Arizona. It's in that route, and they have this giant satellite T-cross, but see, it doesn't have the top. It stops right here, and that's why, because they were trying this is flat Earth right here. We's all down here. There's your flat Earth. You got to get up here. Okay, so this, when I left, and I didn't know I was gonna have to do this. We had to drive the G-Corps back. When we left New Orleans, getting the car out was another thing, because that was basically the ship. We finally get out of New Orleans, where now we're a live wire. So basically connected into, because this is where I say the G-Corps pulled out. This is what I'm telling you. This is how we know. And this is when I posted the pictures. It was like a full-on light beam. The weather was going nuts. We could see my avatar. It was like glowing on top of this mountain. Mim I got sick going there. She started getting sick coming back, and we had to put a blue blanket on her and like basically cover up her sight so she couldn't see the water that we were driving by, because we knew nothing was aligned right. Like where the rivers were, there shouldn't have been any. Where they should have been, they weren't. Where roads were that needed to connect the true energetic current, there's forest. Where gas stations should have been, there weren't. Where gas stations were all on like government road and shit like that. And so it's like we were literally driving the Monopoly board. I just pulled 2 hairs out. We were literally driving the current of the real connections in the Monopoly board. And it was even taking us through cities labeled government, that we had to go do circles around and all that. And as we came into Texas is when it got nuts, because it's like I had to drive a certain amount of speed. Like you couldn't, Like if somebody would have hit me at that point, the whole world would have exploded. I mean, because in the other dimension, we really were driving in a live wire. We had to get a phone call out from Oklahoma to, not Oklahoma, I said Oklahoma. So it must have overlaid to one of my Oklahoma trips, but we had to get a call from and connect a call from Louisiana into Texas, and at this point I didn't have a telecom because I had to pull on my telecom because of what they'd been doing with all of that. And like, it was a miracle that we got that call through. I mean, it's how we saved Texas and the land, all of us working together, but I mean, realize that we just walked it because we blew it up. And as soon as we got back, she was sitting here right where I am right now. And one of the things about working in the cosmos and stuff is that whenever you end up in these, like, whenever you're the one standing up here on the top of the cross, it's almost like you're in a little bubble vector, even with the things that are in your room. And so it's like when I would hit these pinnacle points in my journey, but then you have to do it physically in a human form. You can't just call in everything out in space and then not do something in the physical form. So like for instance, if you know that you just cut somebody out of a net of some sort in the etherics, or you know that you just got cut out of a net in some way in the etherics, then you need to grab some scissors and you need to cut some string, because the human is the one that holds the manifestation. So whenever you're just doing stuff out here, but you're not doing it in physical form or something to back it up, then it doesn't link. So in those situations, it's like it happens a lot when I'm in the morning when I wake up. And then let's say I get a download. I saw something when I woke up and I need to write something down. Well, if there's not a pen like right there, I can't get up and move. Everything has to be right around me. I can't make another move, because if I make another move, then I open up to something else I've got to clear. So what was crazy about it is I had a jewelry thing that was right here as soon as we got back. And it was the next morning, and we were like still trying to process what all had happened. Because I mean, we'd literally tied up an entity with voodoo down in the quarter, and I was dealing with Oprah Winfrey too. It was literally a battle. You know what I did? Like, don't mess with me. I found, because they had this it was an electric box, like a switch box that goes into the wall. They had it on our side, hooked into all these compressors and all these grids. It's why the battle was going on right there. And her little red and white team were on the other side of the street. And her car was parked blocking the angel, because there was an angel on her side of the street that then eventually we went over there, and I had to take some pictures, and I had to untwine a body chain and do all this stuff with this angel art. But she had purposely blocked that angel art with her car, and so I went and got the thing that they had planted in the back where we were. And there were 3 guys in the bathroom. See? 3 guys in the bathroom, the tornado. And I opened that right on top of that electric grid. I opened the door. It was the men's bathroom, which I never do. And there were 3 guys in there standing, like, just having a conversation. And they were, like, surprised to see me. There was a video camera right there, and I had all these notes, and I was, like, showing it to the video camera. Gonna fucking let us out. Like, basically like that. I took that electric box and I stuck it underneath the front of her tire. And we left shortly after that. So I knew as soon as she drove over, it was going to blow something. That might be what the door I just saw. I'm getting hot now. whenever we got back, I had all of this stuff. This was wrapped around my my Tesla coil This was wrapped around it for like 4 years. This is what I used to wrap around my silicone covered Tesla coil that I had been using for all of the transmutations. This is from Miami, where in 2012 they stole my driver's license whenever I wouldn't sell my company to them, and so then they just came and stole my identity and then stole my company. Well, this is from the jeans that I paid for there that says Met on it, because Met Gala was a big piece of this. Met Gala was like its own little weird world that they were doing all this stuff and getting away with it. It's why they made it so artsy fartsy, but it was all connected into Maria Andromeda, bitch. That's what I call her. And all of this stuff was in that little box, all the way down to the necklaces and everything that I had in there. And I had to wrap it around my hand. But I was redoing brain. And I just kept hearing Saturn, because basically we had to, the way that I had this, everything wrapped around my finger, and the way this was put on, which I took pictures, so I can put those pictures up after this. But I had to wear it for 3 days, and then I took it off after Mim left, and then it was about a month or 2 months after that, then I had to, because it was all intricately done, and I even got nervous when I was putting it on, because I was trying to figure out which pieces and parts that I had, because I was having to basically hook veins into different lines and everything, and I had to have all the pieces, and it had to hold. And we were literally like, oh my God, Mim was sitting here with me the whole time I did it, and I was like, this has to hold, and then it didn't, and I was like, oh my God, you know, because that's how far gone it was. Later on, about a month or 2 months later, is when I then had to go pull it out, and then, because I thought I was done with it. I thought I was done, but then what I realized is that that's also how the Alpha Draconics had taken over our minds, was because of that creation that I'd done. And so there was in order to save the human race that had been connected in with the Alpha Draconic lines, it had to be done. But what I didn't do the last time, because I'd done this before, what I didn't do the last time was then go back in and disconnect some things that shouldn't have been connected. And so there were a couple of pieces of it that I had to pull off, little like links, that then left it like this, because I had to basically undo it, and that's how I know, and that's how we were able to completely blow out the bottom and have the full consciousness of the body system that was formed from the Alpha Draconic race, because it's your third eye, it's your nervous system, all these things that made our body as powerful as it is now, but it's no longer connected into that energy of pure Alpha Draconic beings. That's what's setting on this full moon. The full moon. The new moon's tomorrow. Then 2 weeks later on the date, which is a Thursday, we set up the final pillars that mirror from December and the solstice. And that the full moon is going to be in Leo. And it's 5 to 9 degrees Leo, which is where the distortion in the human mind was formed to begin with, within the mammal and the human. And that's when my job is done. Now I say all this to bring you to the bottom of the cross. because that's where I was. I'm going to start crying. The blood. It's an 11. And it really adds up, the top of the cross and the bottom of the cross, and it's 22. But it's an 11. It's half of the sequence. And it's Judah. Judah. Issachar. And this is where the Eases and the Leases and a lot of the biblical stuff it says, you know, and calls Isa the God or the holy or whatever. Issachar, char, which is even where you get your Charlies and Charles. Zebulun. Zebulun. Notice all the 9s and 1s. 9s and 1s were karma. So that the Issachar is 9113819, which basically becomes 9111119, which basically becomes 9339, which basically becomes 2112, which now has become where Venus went retro all the way back to 1212 in Leo to complete this. I love you too. It aligns with the Orion and Pleiades and the Aurora. It equals 3 to the 8th plus 1, which was Earth. Earth was a program run off Terra, the being everybody forgot about. It was always the blood. And Earth, remember we got Mars and Vega way out here, where Earth was way down here. And Earth was a program that now you have in your physical field. It doesn't matter where the human ends up. If you're from Earth, you're going to project Earth. And what you always knew it to be. It never leaves you. No matter what being that you were, if you were ported here, made here, whatever, whenever you ascend this program, you always will project Earth. Unless you get in with a whole bunch of other beings that are out projecting you, which won't even be possible. It won't even be possible for another 993 years to be able to override it, first of all. But there will be a point in time where it can be overridden. But no matter where, if there's blood, then that's where Earth is. Jupiter was coded to 3 to the 12th. And I'll go back. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. How we had all those tribes. Now I'm really going to lose it. How we had all those tribes. 55 goes to whatever. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun breaks down to 3, 2, 1. There were 3. The Trinity. the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost into two. The Father and the Son. Whoa. It's like I walked the Holy Ghost part. I was always there. Y'all couldn't see me. Always. Love and hugs to you too. I'm just seeing where that leads me. I think that's all I want to go over. Eventually, and if y'all know anybody who knows how to get books done, if you know anybody that knows that or have any connections or just can help us manifest some pure people to come in, because basically all of these books are just going to be printed the same way the codes came in, because it's exactly how it came in on the day it came in. Here's the Osiris. Here's all the Isis. I mean, every word that I decoded, every piece of this is all how we got out and built it, and it all worked at the same time frame of when everything lines up now, and it's going to keep repeating these same cycles a year from now. That's why I'm saying, if you're on this live right now, circle this date, circle 3 months from now, circle 6 months from now, circle 9 months from now, and circle a year, because it's how long it's going to take this frequency to finish what we just did right now. For the world. But realize I've already finished it once. So you're riding with me. We're going to be watching it change. And it might take 6 months for me to get a publisher to, I mean, I've got 6 of these, I think. And each book, this is how we got back in the realm. This is what it looks like out there. Getting back in here. And then it became this. This is the underground. This is Stonehenge. This is your 5 gate. This is Florida. This is the key right here. This was the Florida key that was linked into Stonehenge. This is over here. This is the moon projector. But I mean, every bit of this. Here's all the disease codes. These are all the pharmacies, and these are all the pharmaceuticals, because in 2018 we knew that they were going to come at us. We just didn't know it was going to be a vaccine. So I had to scry all the pharmaceutical companies. Pfizer equals 3 to the 14th, and it affects your consciousness and the link to your body. GlaxoSmithKline, 3 to the 23rd plus 1. It's a Zeta Reticuli program. And it's the moon. And it's affecting... I can't read my writing. I put AD control, which to me would mean after death. timeline, controlling the after death timelines. I wasn't in the whole vaccine thing. I know those two made vaccines. Does anybody else know who made a vaccine? I know Pfizer, Glaxo. Does anybody know what the other three were? Johnson & Johnson, that controls 3 to the 21st plus 1. So that's almost out to Alpha Drac. I'm sorry, 3 to the 23 is Zeta Alpha Drac together. Moderna, I don't think I did Moderna. I at this point, this was 2018, and I had looked it up. Top pharmaceutical companies, because we just knew all the commands went out to oil and gas, all the commands went out to technology, and my crew saw that they were going to come after us with pharmaceuticals. So this happened before even the Johnson & Johnson is fluids to blood. Any type of body fluid connected into your blood. Merck, fluid, veins, and ovaries. Roche, blood, uterus, and veins. Novartis, Jupiter. AbbVie, AbbVie, throat, tongue, and Taurus chakra. Amgen, water, Uranus, controls cortex fluids, uterus, root, veins. Bristol-Myers Squibb, prefrontal lobe. Sanofi, Terra, prefrontal lobe. Can I come back? I'm on live. I'm on live. Huh? Bathroom. We did all, this book contains all of your body, all of the systems in your body, pancreas, brain, all of it. And brain, neuron, vein, nerve, vagus, pineal, pituitary, third eye. And it's all coded. So this ends up being the feminine, I believe. Let me look at the key because it's been a minute. I mean, this is what I'm telling you. We had to write all of this. This even what is bringing me up. Pneumonia, all the countries. The orange basically is the full energy. So the orange, if it's colored in orange, it means it just is. It is what it is. Like whistleblower, for instance, it is what it is. The solid yellow is a program of reality, and then yellow with the orange box on it was made from the feminine seed, and that's what we can change, and that's what we changed. So even the key was on the page that's dealing with the Senate, the White House, Senate, program of reality, White House, program of reality, president, we can change him, and we did. Vice president, we can change, and we did. Obamacare, we could change, and we did. So it's like all of these systems that are currently changing. Government, a program. Confederate, a program. Republican, we can change. Democrat, a program. Germany, we could change. Eurasia, we could change. Vietnam, a power source. Afghanistan, we can change. Scotland, a program. Ireland, a power source. Iceland, a power source. New Zealand, a power source. West, a program. East, we can change. No, East, a power source. West, a program. South, we can change. North, a power source. Israel, a program. Russia, a power source. China, a power source. Europe, we can change. England, 10-10-10, Elton and Antenna, star by it. And I heard London this morning. A power source. Korea, we could change. America, we can change. Remember, anything we can change was built off the feminine. Africa, a power source. Canada, a power source. Spain, we can change. France, we can change. Poland, we did change. This is how we unpolled Poland. Australia, a power source. Antarctica, we can change. Arctic, power source. Czechoslovakia, power source. Egypt, program. Warsaw, program. United Kingdom, we can change. Israel, program. Cape Horn, we can change. I have Cape Horn written down as the true Jerusalem. Now, all of this, then we did with pneumonia, a power source. Alzheimer's, it's just because of the messing of the feminine. Diabetes, messing of the feminine. Lupus, messing of the feminine. Respiratory problems, messing of the feminine. Cancer, messing of the feminine. Disease, messing of the feminine. So it goes all the way down into the different chakras, the brain, the veins, nerves, all that. So I think I'm gonna end this live because I'm starting to get a headache now because we did a lot. Thank you all for being here. This is 4-4. This is the third 4-day. This book was written, I started it February 2019. This is when I started this book. So these are all codes that are connecting right now. And this is these layers of consciousness that everybody thought that they were just going to be able to get up into these layers of consciousness because now you'd found the fountain of youth, and then you thought that you were just going to do whatever. Well, no. Maxwell. Jocelyn Maxwell is what I got written down. Exxon, LTEU, United Arab Base, John Rockefeller, Apex Partners, London, 6 companies tied to it, Google, New York, Hong Kong, Tel Aviv, Shanghai, put in 51 billion. Travelex Group, Sir Lloyd Dolphman, British entrepreneur, founder of Travelex, largest foreign exchange company in the world, quasi-universal, interlactic, connected to. Lloyd Marshall Dolphman owns, backing up, Thomas Cook, quasi, Virgin Galactic, Google Space, Bank of England, space currency. Why did Cook go bust? Shut down Epstein. Jocelyn Maxwell, question mark. Sea Life Charity was shut down after the inception. Human trafficking, illegal criminal network. Where is Jocelyn Maxwell? You mean, who did they say my parents were? If y'all could do me a favor, the 8 that are on here right now, if you could order for anyone named to be my parents to be cut from me, and let's see what happens. Russia links her father Shay. Deutsche Bank end of year sum 2020 3 plus 4 number 3 and 4 numbers. Big companies closing when the man stands in snow is what I had written. Trump. Ukraine living, William Boren, ET race aggressive, not representative. Ukraine had 007. Pence, Rev, speech, serpent. And then later on I wrote China AI controller. So this was all, the whole thing was coming in. I got Constantine, Algeria. Man, it's all right here in these books. And we're going to be printing these the way that they are in a series because they're all dated. And, I mean, you can literally go pull up these books and on the day and go look and see what was coming in the hires. And this is how we've been connecting it all. I'm looking through because that popped up. I just saw Dolores Cannon. I think this red one, because this was an empty page. Calling all 232. I call in all 232 energy now. Embody the trains and watch them deliver. These are the two books that I was reading from. The Body came in 2018. This is where the Christ codes and everything went in. And this is the one that had to be flown to Hawaii. When they stopped me from getting to Hawaii, this book went there. All the codes went into the earth. Now we're finally merging into where we should have been without any issues. So now you know what's going on today. Now I know what's going on today. Thank you for being here. And this is all happening. Love you. We did it. It's just not quite over yet. But it's never going to be as bad as it was. Because we did change time. And we're changing it now. And I'll never thank y'all enough for... It was easier for me, I know, to keep going in a way because I had all this. That's why I knew I couldn't give up. But for a lot of y'all, you didn't know any of this. And you kept going and you kept praying for us and you kept sending the energy knowing that some of us were out there in it. And it's why I would never give up. Because I never leave a man behind. Ever. I promise you that. My team can attest to the last 4 years of hell because I refuse to leave anybody behind or any set of us that was supporting the whole. There was no way in hell we were going to blow the whole thing wide open if we had to, which we did, to get everybody out. Anybody that gave their energetic and that gave their support and walked with us, you are with us, and you are coming out of this. I promise you. I just hope this gives you some more confirmation to stay course.